I remember driving to my son's place of work and pulling up.
It was scary and just peaceful all at once.
And that was when I became really afraid.
I felt really sort of crushed by nothingness.
And I remember ringing on the doorbell and banging on the window.
The fear that was coming out of me was sickening.
Aggression built up on me.
And then the thought came in. I know what's happened. I know what's happened.
So for the first 10 minutes, we'd just like you to recount your experience from the day before, and we are rolling.
So we'd just got back we'd been away for a few days just driving around, wanted a little bit of a break. So we just were driving around and we'd just got back. So John was staying at mine and he'd shaved all his hair off, which I was really angry about because it's just so stark. It didn't seem quite like him anymore and I didn't like it. So I was a little bit edgy, a bit weird with him, I think. So the homecoming was a bit flat and we weren't quite there with each other. And the one thing I liked about the hair was that because it was so short, you could it kind of goes. So I was doing that, and that kind of brought us back a bit, kind of broke it, and we just fell asleep.
The day before, there wasn't anything to suggest what was in store for us.
It started off as a normal day.
I heard the usual sounds of the morning.
It was a normal day.
All my days are ecstatically happy. That's just a joke.
And I went to sleep. And then the world changed.
When I woke up the next day, he was gone. And he works a few miles away, so I thought he'd maybe gone to start setting back up.
I usually wake up with the early bus, but there was no sounds.
Just got up and did usually what I do.
At first I didn't notice anything different. I went and had breakfast.
Usually there's a smell of coffee in the kitchen.
The electric kettle was cold.
I went to see if Mum was there.
Then I called Mum. Mum. Nothing.
She was gone, and there was not a note or anything.
Although we're a bit in the country, I couldn't hear any traffic in the distance.
But I cycled down and there's just nobody around.
I looked out of my window and, yes.
Where are the people I know? Where am I? Where am I?
You wake up and you find you've got the entire planet all to yourself for absolutely no discernible reason.
I thought, well, it can't be a meteorite, because if it had, I would be gone as well.
And what I found is this incredible paranoia.
Why? Why is this happening to me?
Yeah, that I did something bad.
This amazing paranoia that turned into this all-consuming fear until everything was fear.
That was my panic in the first place, that I really thought, oh wow, I get punished.
I would see things out of the corner of my eye, shadowy figures.
I'm ashamed to say, but I just kind of went running around my kitchen, banging off walls.
A clenched knot of anxiety.
Everything was speeding up, and I was getting, my heart was going.
And it got to the point where I would see awful visions just right in front of me, not just out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah, and I just really didn't want to be in this situation anymore.
Like just where you are now, looking at me, writhing.
I just didn't know what else to do, and I just started taking some Valium to try and calm me down, but that actually really didn't have much effect at all.
I was convinced that I died. That's why I couldn't see anyone. That's why I was totally alone.
I was just in hell. Maybe this will be my permanent state.
Yeah, the fear got to a point where my mind just whited out. If I had known then that the same experience was happening to everybody else, I wouldn't have felt so alone.
There was no one to share it with. There was no one to say I was real or to say I was actually doing it. If no one's here, what's the point?
I thought if there's nobody else, then what's the point in staying here?
And just this feeling that I want people. I want people. I want those sounds. I want there to be the things that make my life worth having.
I sat there for hours with a huge glass of whiskey and 2 boxes of aspirin. And I still don't know how I had the strength not to do that.
No. Suicide was not an option for me.
I have no idea how long this lasted for. Days, weeks, I don't know, months.
From what I've managed to gather, it was about 2 weeks, just nothingness.
It was a couple of weeks or maybe months.
Something began to change inside me. It felt like some kind of surrender.
And if this is what's happening, then all I can do is change how I feel about it.
I started to think about my love for everybody that I couldn't be with anymore. And I came to this place where my love for them was enough. Even if I couldn't be with them, I could be with my love for them.
And after a while I just remembered what I learned when I was traveling India, like breathing exercises, all this stuff that they do over there. And that calmed me down, and then there was all of a sudden this silence again, which I enjoyed in the beginning.
I didn't feel scared or angry anymore, I just felt there. And I started to hope. And then I went to sleep, I think. I just drifted off.
And when I look back on it now, it was a death. And it became a beginning.
first thing I noticed was the hedge trimmer. Someone was trimming their hedge, and just this kind of love for the hedge trimmer, like that sound.
And I got out of bed, and I saw my youngest son. And he smiled and he just said, "Oh, you made it after all."
And I woke up and I felt over the bed, side of the bed, and I could feel flesh next to me. Yeah, and I realised I was back.
I just couldn't believe it. I was so overjoyed.
It was so sunny and warm, and it just felt safe. It felt like a really wonderful day.
You cannot believe how it was such a relief.
People were starting to say, what what happened?
We shared experiences, it all became clear. But I remember feeling such peace and such gratitude.
I was back in this world of people, and people were really important.
I saw them all in a different way. I felt them as if their cells were in me.
I look at people very differently now. I wake up every morning and I run downstairs and I hug my mum and I hug my dad. I hug my brother when he's home.
I feel I'm much more respectful to my family now. I feel like I appreciate a lot of the things they do for me.
People who normally would go, we're kind of giving you a little hug, or, as much that way as they do.
And I hope that continues to be how it is.
Yes, we all experienced that there were commonalities, but everybody's experience was quite different. And whilst we all learnt to control negative emotion and focus on positive emotion, we still, even back here, are aware of the challenges we had. I wonder about those who were not in my beginning. So, where are they?
So I went to his work and it was open and they were all there and they were having coffee and they were smoking, and they said, "Where's John?" He's not come back.
I'm back here. I've learned so much from my experience. My husband's back, my daughter's back. They had similar experiences. But my son is still in that world.
I certainly miss him, because he was a very good friend.
John was an acquaintance, really. Me and him didn't really get on that well.
This is what I assume, that he still feels as a victim and does not get it, that he creates this, what he is in.
In my opinion, I don't think he was a very nice person, although that's not the nicest things to say when a guy goes missing, but I'm just saying how it is.
Is it that he doesn't want to come back? Is it that... I don't know.
But I hope he comes back. No one deserves that.
I want to send him vibrations of peace and love and laughter that would attract him and draw him back.
He'll get it. There's no way he won't get it. He just will.
And he'll come home to us. And when he does, he'll have something very special to offer. He'll be a very bright light and be of great service to other people.